You really thought Duel was gonna get sponsored by Konami? Who do you think you are? Yeah, but apparently these two guys disagree. I don't know, bro. I really do not think Konami's paying me, bro. Like, do you see my wallet, bro? That shit empty. Yo, what's poppin', everybody? YuGiOh here, back at it again with a new Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel video. And today we're going to be taking a look at It's Braz HD's Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel exclusive gameplay preview video. He was able to head over to Konami UK to do and play Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel early. And in today's video, we're going to basically do a reaction, some low effort content on this exclusive gameplay preview, because he did talk about a lot of really cool things that I personally wanted to discuss about on this channel, because there's a lot of quality of life changes from Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links coming to Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. That is just really nice. Some of these features in Master Duel I wish get added into Duel Links, because there's some really cool changes, that's for sure, with how the game works, and also just some gameplay on the game itself, because this game looks beautiful. But yeah, shout out to Brad. Go take a look at his video in the description down below. I guarantee pretty much all of you guys watching this video has already seen Brad's video. But again, by the off chance, go take a look at the description down below. If only Konami UK would invite me over to hang out and take a look at Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. Because Konami US ain't doing none of that as far as I know. Because I got no scoop. I got no scoop. Oh my god, this game just looks so good, bro. The starting screen, the animations, oh my god, it is beautiful.
So welcome to my official preview for Yu-Gi-Oh! Master. A big thank you goes to Konami for inviting.
Like, bro, just look at this. I'm sorry, Brad, I gotta interrupt you, bro, but like, dude, the UI just looks so good. Like, look, we got the dual log on the right here. We got the little special summon sequence right here. I'm not sure how I feel about this yet, but it's kind of cool to see like the back of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card kind of mixed in with the artwork of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card, showcasing the level and the rank and if it's a link monster, so on and so forth. It just looks so cool.
Thank you goes to Konami for inviting me down to their offices to play.
Look at how fluid the UI looks, bro. It just looks so smooth.
I'm finally able to talk about and show gameplay of what I think is best described as the early game content. So that's the tutorial, duel strategy, 2 of the solo mode experiences, and of course some PvP gameplay via friend duels.
So yeah, we're going to mostly just discuss about the tutorial and the gameplay enhancements on this video. Like I said, take a look at his video in the description once you're done with this one, because he does do a PvP duel at the very end, and that is some raw gameplay of Master Duel here, which is awesome.
There's a ton of information to cover, as well as my general thoughts on the game in the PvP duel section.
Like, dude, even changing from main phase to battle phase looks clean too.
I'm just going to say now, I really love this game so far.
Of course you do, Brad. I'm going to too. This game just looks so good.
Of course, if there's any questions about Master Duel you have, leave them down below in the comments, and of course, if I'm able to, I will try my best to answer them. Anyway,
Brad, when's Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel coming out?
Let's dive right in. So let's start with the tutorial. Now, this is a very basic handheld introduction to the overall core mechanics of Yu-Gi-Oh! What monster cards, spell cards, and trap cards are, how they work, how to play them, how they function with each other, and what the overall objective of the game is.
So first of all, I like what they're doing with the tutorial so far. From what Brad is showcasing here, I think this is like one of the first like tutorial missions, and it's really cool because it shows you the basics of the game. But one thing that I kind of want to keep in mind here is I like that they're using Skull Successor as one of the like starter cards for teaching people how Yu-Gi-Oh! Is going to be working here, because obviously they're going to show you how the normal summon, they're going to show you how trap cards and spell cards work, but Skull Successor is a really good card to showcase too, because it's also going to give a little taste to players that are new to the game that do not know how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! That hey, the graveyard and the banner zone are also going to be tools to your advantage if you use them correctly and depending on what cards that you play. So I like that little key detail there, which is really cool.
Overall core mechanics of Yu-Gi-Oh! What monster cards, spell cards, and trap cards are, how they work, how to play them, how they function with each other, and what the overall objective of the game is. Getting your opponent down from 8,000 life points to 0. This is very basic stuff, but doing these will give you rewards like gems and a structure deck you can take into duel strategy or into the...
That's another cool thing too. I really like learning the different ways of obtaining cards in this game, because there is 10,000 cards in this game, and that's one of my concerns is how exactly it's going to work. Obviously, we know it's going to be a gacha, but there's also ways to craft cards. Obviously, like just Brad just said, there's going to be ways where if you go through the campaign itself, you're going to get pre-built structure decks, so that's going to be a multitude of cards to get. So there's going to be a lot of ways to get it, which is really cool.
Solo mode, or even further into your PvP journey online. Now, duel strategy is where you come to brush up on the more advanced mechanics, what tribute summoning or synchro summoning is, for example. And these are
That's good to know. I didn't know about that when it was first previewed in one of those Yu-Gi-Oh! Card EU videos that I covered on my channel.
broken down into two main types of activities, practice and duel. In practice, you're once again guided through how to perform a certain action. Here you can see we have the Synchro Summon tutorial. It's very handheld, but at least for this one, it gave me a choice of what card I want to summon, so there is some form of choice there.
Which again is pretty important because not everybody's going to know how to do these other mechanics. So yeah, it's just in addition to the tutorial already, where the tutorial teaches you the basics of basics, but you're going to need to know how to do these extra deck summoning mechanics. Let me tell you what.
Now, for the duels, the game throws you right in against a deck designed to show off our mechanic at a basic level. And you can see here I'm playing Volcanics instead of the default structure deck because you can use any deck in your collection for duel strategy.
Which is really cool right here, because as you'll see in the video, there's going to be replay value from this.
And, of course, you'll be getting rewards for doing this as well.
Regeki!
Now we're onto the solo mode, and this takes the duel strategy formula, but fleshes it out even more, with each gate focusing around a specific deck theme and their card lore. I was able to try out the Absolute Emperor, which is based around the Monarchs, and the Pyroxene Warriors, which features the Gem Knights. And like duel strategy, there are 4 main types of activities in each solo mode gate. You have Scenario, which is a animated introduction to the archetype, practice and duel with the same as in duel strategy, and the goal provides an endpoint that's animated again to cap off the story of the lore being told.
This is something that I am really looking forward to, and something that I felt like that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is kind of missing. So as somebody that has played a little bit of Magic the Gathering, especially with a couple of my friends, one of my friends loved the lore of Magic the Gathering and whatnot. Magic the Gathering would give you like these like fat packs, and then in there were booklets about the lore and everything like that. And it was just something kind of cool to get in touch with when it comes to Magic the Gathering. Now, Yu-Gi-Oh! Does have its lore, but a lot of it is up to interpretation. The only time we really got like a concrete like set of lore was from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Terminal, but that thing is years old, and we haven't got anything else like that in a very long time. I'm really excited to see that Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel is going to be incorporating a lot more Yu-Gi-Oh! Lore. It's probably going to be very brief since they have so many different campaigns, but it's still nice to see that they're going to be giving a good amount of lore from having basically none beforehand and Master Duel, and that's one thing I am really looking forward to for sure.
And of course, you'll be able to obtain rewards such as new cards, cosmetics, gems, legacy pack tickets, and other consumables.
Yeah, so this is cool right here. So very similar to Duel Links, I'm guessing. In Duel Links, as you guys know, there's like SR and UR tickets. Master Duel right here is going to have its own different set of tickets right here, but I'm going to guess these are still for packs specifically, because it says right here, Legacy Pack Ticket. It allows you to purchase a Legacy Pack while you're a Legacy B. So instead of spending gems or whatever the case may be, you can just use this to just get a pack specifically. So tickets are going to work differently than Duel Links, but still tickets in at Master Duel here, and they're going to be for just specific, packs and everything like that.
Pack tickets and other consumables for progressing along through each solo mode experience. You'll even get a structure deck when completing the goal objective, which is intended to...
Which is another thing that I'm really excited to see right here is structure decks, because maybe one of your favorite decks that you played growing up is going to be in the campaign. Well, you can play the campaign in Master Duel and be able to unlock that right away instead of grinding a bunch of gems to get all the cards for it. You'll still need the gems to, build the deck to its best potential, but it's still really cool to see that at least you're going to be able to get a good chunk of them by simply playing the game.
Give you a starting point to craft your own deck from that specific theme. However, unlike duel strategy, you can choose whether to use either a loaner deck or your own custom-made deck to complete each duel, and you'll receive different rewards depending on the deck you cleared them with.
That is something that is really cool, really good replay value for the players. I love to see it.
Which is pretty good, so that means each solo mode duel will be cleared at least twice in your playthrough. And one more thing I want to point out here is just how good the music is for these solo mode duels and scenarios. It doesn't really feel like typical Yu-Gi-Oh! Music, and I mean that in a very, very good way. It's not like Duel Links, it's something different, and it works, and it's so good. But now onto the PvP.
Something to add to this too, the reason why the music isn't gonna be as very like upbeat and happy like Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links is because this game is kind of trying to make itself stand away from the whole Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime. Every Yu-Gi-Oh! Game that's been coming out recently has been very focused and related to the anime. Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, you play as the characters themselves in order to play these duels. You have Yu-Gi-Oh! Rush Duel down at the Battle Royale, literally Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s. You have Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist, which the bulk of the game is just going through the campaign of the actual Yu-Gi-Oh! Shows, but this game is trying to stand out and be different and just focus on the card game itself and nothing else. So that's why the music is going to be more like intense and focused on the actual gameplay itself, not to be like, hey, this is like a good track to listen to because, hey, anime, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's be real here. The Duel Links tracks are amazing, but they still kind of have this anime vibe because of the fact that it's related to the character specifically that you're dueling against and whatnot. So that's just kind of how it is. All the tracks in Duel Links are themed around the characters. So in the rest of the video, we're going to take a look at the key details that you're going to want to know when you're going through a duel in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel right here. Brad laid out a ton of different things that are some nice quality of life changes. Some of these things you're going to be used to seeing from Duel Links, but there's going to be some new additions to this that is not from Duel Links. So this part's really cool.
Let's dive in with point number 1, Ash Blossom Sleeves.
Brad, I want to talk about quality of life changes. Ash Blossom is not a quality of life change, bro. Lock Brad up, boys. Lock him up.
Number 2, the coin flip at the start of the duel is automated, but the winner then gets to choose whether they go first or second, so it's this nice middle ground for actual interactivity in your Master Duel.
This is really interesting, and I'm curious to see how people are going to take it when the game comes out, because in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, coin flip happens, and the coin flip is specific for you. So due to that, you know that you're going to be going first or going second. There's no buts about it. You just deal with it. You know what I'm saying? This, on the other hand, the coin flip still happens, but once that happens, you get to choose whether to go first and second. So if you win the coin flip, by just the chance, you're going to have a lot of advantage on choosing whether or not you want to go first or second, depending on how your deck plays, which is really interesting here. And I'm very curious to see how this is going to play out in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel comparatively to Duel Links. This makes sense, though, because in the TCG and OCG, well, how else are you going to figure out who's going to go first and second? People just respectfully, they either roll dice and choose certain numbers that are qualified for heads or tails. They actually flip a coin or they play rock, paper, scissors in order to choose whether they go first or second. So this makes a lot of sense because, again, this game is catered towards the TCG and OCG players. So having that is going to be, again, like Brad said, a really good middle ground for everything here. But come on, man. Where's the rock, paper, and scissors, Konami? Where it at?
Number 3. The duel timer is set for 480 seconds, which is 8 minutes, but this is only for you. So your opponent also gets a timer of the same length, but it does count down whenever you make an action or think in response to a card effect, either in your turn or your opponent's turn, but it doesn't go down when animations are playing, and you gain more time as your turn starts. So it seems fair, but our turns were never long enough to actually get a full picture of how this actually works, so I have to wait a bit longer to see just how the timer functions in actual gameplay.
This is really interesting. So for people that, you know, are coming from the TCG and OCG, yeah, the timer was just something that just simply went down. You had like, I don't know what it was, like 18, probably 30-minute timers. I really don't know. Anybody that has played in any YCSs, let me know in the comment section down below. But obviously the timer is going to go down, and it's really hard to specify a specific timer for each individual player. So it's just one timer that goes down when you're in the middle of your duel. But in Master Duel, it's kind of taking the timer from Duel Links, where in Duel Links, it works the exact same way. The timer is only catered for you specifically and not your opponent. So you have a certain amount of time in order to do your plays. And so your opponent will be able, so their timer won't be going down. And the fact that it is 8 minutes is actually pretty interesting because that is a little bit longer than at Duel Links, but I think it's going to be much needed for the fact that there's a ton of cards in this game, and you're going to be going against some whack cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, that is for sure. So having that long timer should be pretty beneficial, but who knows? Is it going to be long enough? We'll have to wait and see until we, you know, get our hands into this. Because I know some people complain about how short the Duel Links timer is because there's just not enough time to be able to read the card and be able to kind of understand where you're going to be at. And people have different reading levels, and people have different ways of like comprehending what's going on in the field at different paces and whatnot. So we'll see if this timer's long enough. I know for me, it's going to hopefully be long enough, but your boy's still going to make misplays. That is for sure.
Number 4. Cards can manually be dragged onto the field and will automatically set themselves if they can't be activated. For example, trap cards, you can just drag them onto the field, into the zone, and they will go there. Otherwise, you do still need to confirm the position, for example, attack mode, defense mode, activating or setting, but it's a very streamlined experience, at least on PC.
At least on PC. This is a little reference to the fact that some of the mobile gameplay that's been from some, like, you know, events in Japan were kind of iffy because some phones have certain functionality where when you switch them horizontal, you're still going to be able to do certain functions from after you switch them horizontal. So people, while trying to drag their cards into the board, accidentally go home on their phone and close out the app, and it was just a lot of fun right there. But on PC, it works wonderful. We'll have to see if it works well on console too. But it's really cool to see that the game is going to be kind of understanding on like what's going on. It's like, for example, being able to set the traps right away for you instead of you having to click on the interaction like you do in Duel Links, and be able to drag and drop things wherever you please is really nice too, because this game, it's really important on where you set your cards in columns, because there is certain cards in the Yu-Gi-Oh TCG that have certain interactions if it's in the same column. As a Duel Links player, this is going to be definitely something that I'm going to have to learn and get used to, because that's not something that is prevalent in Duel Links, especially for the fact that while we do have mech lords in Duel Links, they don't do shit. They are garbage. So it's kind of interesting to see, but yeah, it looks smooth. It really does.
Number 5, and actually one of the bigger things, in the bottom right corner of the screen are 3 very, very important buttons.
Yes!
The first one on your left is the optional activation toggle, which has been taken straight from Duel Links. If you know that, you know what this does.
Why didn't you explain it, Brad? Dude, this thing is very, 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 very important for certain interactions. So if you leave it on auto, the game is going to basically choose when it thinks you want to activate a card. And it's usually pretty accurate when you want to activate certain cards and whatnot. Like when your opponent normal summons a monster and you have a card that you can respond to it, the auto activation is going to simply pop up, hey, do you want to play this card? And so on and so forth. But there's going to be certain interactions where you're going to want to switch the auto button to on or off. You may want to switch it to on depending if you want to play cards during your opponent's draw phase or standby phase, or there's going to be certain interactions that you're going to want to have it on, so you're going to be playing it during a certain damage step or a certain, like, you know, declare step, and so on and so forth. And again, auto usually does that for you, but having it to on will guarantee you, hey, I want to activate this card before the end of the turn or before the battle phase starts, so on and so forth. Having it to on is going to make it no matter what, where like if there's an opportunity to play the card, the game will let you. And turning the toggle to off also could be useful too if you play it right, so that when your opponent may be attacking you, but you know you don't need to use a card in your hand in order to survive that turn, you can turn it to off to kind of throw off your opponent to make them not think that you have a card. Or simply just want to turn it off. So I don't know, you just don't feel like activating any cards, who knows. But yeah, the toggle thing is really, really, really important, and it's nice to see that this is added into Master Duel, a much needed thing for this game, that is for sure.
Secondly, on the right is the duel log, which can be brought up at any time during gameplay and dismissed at the same rate. And it's really good because you can scroll back infinitely without new actions in the duel actually interrupting the flow of your duel log. So you can scroll back to the very beginning of the duel and not be interrupted by things happening on turn 6 or turn 7. And
the reason why Brad mentions this is because for some reason, the Duel Links duel log, for whatever reason, when you're trying to scroll up that duel log and something happens in your duel, the duel log will automatically update to the bottom. So when you're scrolled away all the way to the top, the thing will automatically shoot all the way to the bottom when something happens in the game, which is just really silly. So I'm glad this is not a thing in Master Duel, because, bro, there's a lot of things that happens in a duel, and if you're wondering, like, bro, why is this card interacting in this certain way? I need to scroll up in the duel log right now so I understand what just happened, but your opponent's going to continue making their plays and whatnot, and the duel log keeps shooting it down. That is just really annoying and something that they need to change in Duel Links, if I'm being honest. But it's nice to see that Master Duel, from how it sounds like Brad is describing it, is not having the issue anymore, which is a huge thumbs up for me.
Finally, a new button that reveals all public knowledge in the current game state, such as card types, the top card in the banished and graveyard zones, how many cards are in those zones, what you have set face down, and it's also accessible via the middle mouse click, so it's very quick to see during gameplay. You can toggle it real quickly. It's amazing.
Quality of life change. I like to see it right here, so that your screen looks pretty and clean and the gameplay looks so smooth because you don't have all these silly numbers in your way. But hey, if you need to know how many cards your opponent has in their deck, graveyard, banish zone, and same for you, you always have a button that you can click real quick to see, hey, what the heck is going on. And what's really cool too, that this is in the game, because it's going to have a lot less clutter. So if this game had all the like numbers that it would show like it would in Duel Links, it would feel really, really, really cluttered. So just having a button that you can turn it off and on is just really nice. It really is. Because again, it's going to feel a little overwhelming in certain duels when you have just 20 different things on the field. And it's like, okay, I do not need to know the individual stats of all these cards right now. But when I want to, you can click a button and boom, there you go.
Number 6, like Duel Links, you can skip the extra summon animations if you want to by clicking anywhere on the screen.
I will do that a lot. I'm a very impatient man.
Interactive elements, for example. Here, if I click by the stone pillars, a small ritual raven will come out of hiding. He'll make a noise, he'll shake a bow, and then run back into hiding.
I love this. I love just little Easter eggs and stuff like that, and I'm glad to see that there's some stuff like that in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel right here.
It's also have several animations for attacks, victories, and defeats, but also animations for when you click on them. Cyber Dragon Infinity in particular doesn't seem to like being pet.
Aw, is that adorable right there? I love the pets in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel right here, and it's a good replacement for the characters if you're coming from Duel Links right here, where the pets are going to be your little buddies that are going to be your comrades throughout a duel, and the fact that you can have special interactions with them is really cool. The fact that when you attack, they attack with you to intimidate your opponent is really cool. It's a nice little companion, and I love to see it. And I'm glad that they have these unique animations too, because I don't know how we're going to be able to attain the mates, aka the pets. Are we going to get them by just playing the game, or do we have to spend money to get them? I don't know exactly yet, but it is still really cool to see, and I'm hoping we get some cool ones in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel.
Number 9, like Dark Hole, Monster Reborn also has a unique animation when you draw and activate it. It's really cool and does make the moment of when you play this very classic card even more exciting.
I love this step in the right direction. This looks so cool, bro. I'm really happy to see that they're incorporating so many animations for spell and trap cards. Duel Links finally did that too with Monster Reborn, which is not really something that you would see. And I like that Master Duel is doing it too, because the monsters don't need all the credit. There's still some really iconic spell and trap cards like Monster Reborn.
Number 10, a pretty small one, but you can click on the image of a card in the card details UI to bring up a full screen view of that card.
Nice.
Number 11, the game doesn't really waste time with animations, with pop-up boxes for effects happening right as cards hit the field, so the game always feels fast and fluid. Even the big cut-in animations don't really overstay their welcome. And
which, so far from the gameplay, I can see that.
There to be scrolled up to see all the information possible. That's one of the big things about this game, is it gives you so much information when you want it. And of course, finally, I did do the polar duality test, which feels plenty fast compared to Legacy of the Duelist. So
thank goodness, bro. Like, bro, if you guys have never played Legacy of the Duelist, dude, it takes like 30 seconds for polar duality to fully resolve in Legacy of the Duelist. It is terrible. I used an Exodia deck that has a lot of banned cards, but I did use polar duality in it also. So in order to try to filter and get all my Exodia pieces, playing that dang card took so much time, and it was so annoying to get through the campaign because of that.
You're in good hands. But overall, it feels like it's taken a lot of the best quality of life features introduced in Duel Links and just made them feel even better. And it's why this game felt so good to play.
Which I'd hope so, because Duel Links came out in 2017, like globally, and had a beta gameplay in 2016. Like, Duel Links is 5 years old, so I hope that they did take the good, but still expanded on the good in Master Duel, as this game is coming out in 2022, the newest Yu-Gi-Oh game. So thank goodness for that.
And I cannot wait for the game to drop. Whenever it does drop, I don't know when it drops, but when it does drop,
Brad, come on here, bro. I thought you knew everything.
Very special from what we've seen today, what we've seen in the trailers, and things that have come out since then. It all looks very promising. I'm very excited. And once again, a big thank you to Konami for inviting me down to their offices to play this game early, to bring you this early coverage of Master Duel.
Bro, Konami, why didn't you not fly me out to the UK to preview this game, or just bring it to the US to have us preview it? Come on, man. Oh wait, YuGiOh7 is the most irrelevant YouTuber on the platform. But hey, Ruxin followed me on Twitter, so there we go. Self-esteem boosted, boys. Let's go. But yeah, no, that's going to do it for me in today's Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel video. Seriously, go take a look at Brad's video if you have not already. The end of his video was a duel against somebody else, and he was able to just have a fun little duel. So go take a look at that. If you guys enjoyed today's video, smash the like button on the video down below. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you guys are new. But that's going to do it for me, and see you guys later.